Good morning and War Eagle to all the Auburn fans out there. Auburn taking on Ole Miss today. Game day keys to victory for the Auburn Tigers. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. As we talk about these keys to victory for the Auburn Tigers, let's look at how Auburn got to this point. We look at some of Bryan Harsin's key moments as a head football coach at the Auburn University Tigers, taking on the job from Boise State, where he had a pretty surmountable amount of success there. Very respectable in the industry out in the Mountain West Conference. But either way, Auburn has done some pretty good things for themselves leading up to this point. Number one is really hitting the transfer portal hard with the available amount of players, and that kind of stuff is going to show up in a game like today, where Ole Miss really likes to spread the ball around. They have a very good offense, especially when you have a offense coached by Lane Kiffin. You're set up for a relative amount of success. He had some record-breaking things going on at Alabama as an offensive coordinator. As a matter of fact, he changed kind of the offensive approach to Alabama, which was a very good deed for him as he ventured over to the head coaching portion of college football. Well, back to the head coaching portion of college football. Auburn got a lot of transfers by Darius Knighton, Donovan Coffin, Drayshawn Miller, Marcus Harris, Tony Fair. All of those guys on defense have really helped to not only add some depth, but to add some experience to a defense that probably, if you really look at it, will be in a lot of trouble had it not been for the transfer portal. I thought that was a really good deal for the Auburn Tigers, especially for Bryan Harsin to gain some leverage in the depth department and the experience department that probably, based on the types of players that he was able to attain, probably would have taken a year or two to be able to pull that off. So I think he really took full advantage of the transfer portal, probably in epic ways that has shown up this particular season. Now, also, I think rolling the dice with Jarquez Hunter. I don't think it was a dice roll, but this wasn't a heavily recruited running back out of Mississippi, at least not from a star standpoint. There were some teams that wanted him, but I don't think they made him as much of a priority as Bryan Harsin and his staff did, and I think that has really paid dividends for Bryan Harsin at this point. So getting Jarquez Hunter on has been huge. The emergence of Bo Nix has been really, really epic for the Tigers. I think if he can continue to play consistent and play at a high level, similar to what we saw against Arkansas, I think you might be on to a really good quarterback situation at Auburn, especially with having TJ Finley as the backup. And I think that will be huge for the Tigers down the stretch. Also, you look at the positioning of this football game. We're going to get into the keys to victory now. You look at the positioning of this football game. Auburn coming off a much-needed bye week, being able to get some guys healthy. Ole Miss hasn't quite yet had their bye week, but they've had kind of a brutal stretch. They've had Tennessee. They've had Alabama. They've had Arkansas. They've had some really tough games up to this point that has really taken a physical toll on them as a team. If Auburn can come in and play with some physicality, and also they've gotten some guys back, hopefully Owen Papo will play in this particular game. You know, you really could be looking at a situation where Auburn can really just out-physical Ole Miss in this game just because of the situation with the injuries and things of that nature. Like I said before, I'm really looking at a football game where Auburn should be able to control the line of scrimmage, should be able to take advantage of Ole Miss's fatigue. Go ahead and like the video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports Auburn. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle.